Hello everyone and welcome to Season 5, Episode 37 of Pro Wrestling's Top 50. I'm your host Travis McNeil, and today we continue our countdown of the top 50 matches in NXT history with match number 14 on our list, which is the NXT title match between the champion Tommaso Ciampa and the challenger the Velveteen Dream from the NXT TakeOver WarGames 2018 event held on November the 17th of 2018. As always, we've had a couple of matches on this countdown involving the Velveteen Dream. For any wrestler that, is somebody that was brought up with allegations during the speaking out movement, I completely understand if you choose to refrain from watching this video. As I post these videos online on social media, I'll generally tag the wrestlers involved. For any of these individuals, I will not do that. We do not need to bring any attention to those wrestlers. However, that said, for the sake of this project, I do look at the matches themselves and the achievements that the matches contain and remove the individuals from it in my review or critique to the best of my abilities. So again, I completely understand if you skip this one, but if you do stick around, we have, for discussion today, a match that, in my opinion, is the most underrated NXT TakeOver match and the most underrated NXT title match that there ever was. This match blew me away in 2018. Watching it now, it's objectively even better. And this is a match that really is greater than the sum of its parts. Tommaso Ciampa's reign as NXT champion, unfortunately, due to injuries, it really didn't have a lot to it. He had the, in my opinion, horrible last man standing match with Johnny Gargano in Brooklyn. He had this excellent match with Dream. He had a match that I really didn't like very much with Aleister Black in Royal Rumble weekend in 2019. And then ultimately he would end up injured and had to relinquish the title before, he could get to yet another match with Johnny Gargano. This match, though, it's so great. Velveteen Dream, I've talked at length about him for better or worse. And he was just this really different wrestler that brought all of these little things to the table that aren't generally explored in wrestling. And I talk about his insecurities and, his vision for pro wrestling and what it should be. And it really works for me. And it's really on display in a match like this. And the great thing about this match is that they really don't do anything too outrageous or that breaks the mold. But the near falls in this match are so hot and the crowd is so invested that it bleeds through the television set or phone or computer or whatever you're watching this match on. And it's completely infectious. I know the result of this match. I watched it live at the time, but I bite on all of these moments and all of these near falls. And the match just escalates into it. And it's so well done. And it's like a perfect picture to me as to what, a WWE main event title match should be. And people might disagree with that, but it has, the right amount of theatrics and, drama, but it doesn't go over the top. It doesn't have all of this, melodrama, why am I so dangerous? All of the tropes that we make fun of online, all of that is stripped away. And it's just two wrestlers completely desperate to win this match and to win the title. And it is so enthralling to me. And the Velveteen Dream, he's somebody that I feel does a really good job at rolling with the punches and ad-libbing. This match is in LA. It's held at the Staples Center. He's rocking, a Hollywood Hogan kind of motif, which, also doesn't really hold up great today. But they do a spot, and I talked about this too in a match he had earlier, where his headband ends up coming off. And that's because Ciampa, actually grabs it as a distraction, which I thought was so cool. They open with some mat wrestling like most matches do. And, Velveteen Dream is kind of ahead. He's kind of winning. And Ciampa decides to play that mind game, and he pulls the headband off. And what does Dream do? Well, at this point, Ciampa's got kind of one of his prized possessions and is trying to play that head game that that Dream goes for Ciampa's absolute most prized possession, Goldie, the NXT title. He rolls out and grabs the belt and, uses this as this head game. And that allows him, to kind of get the opening that he needs. And he runs wild. He has, his great kind of Randy Savage tribute act where, he does the wild neck snap over the rope to the floor. He gets the double axe handle. He gets his headband back, which gets a pretty big pop. He hits like a crazy double axe handle to the floor. He starts, trying to do his Hulk Hogan, you kind of taunt stuff and Hulk up. especially, with the Hollywood Hogan motif. But Ciampa's able to cut him off and push him off the top rope onto the ring apron and hit a big swinging neck breaker on the floor. Ciampa is so good at his little things too, and how devious and ruthless he can be. And he grinds Dream to slow that momentum. But at one point he's got like a chin lock on him and Dream's kind of like slobbering out of his mouth. And Ciampa, again, just doesn't miss a beat and sees how he can use these little things and add to the overall picture and the visual impact of his matches. And he wipes his hand on Dream's slobber and starts wiping it all in Dream's face. And it's just so simple and so easy and so good. How does Dream get back into this match after getting worn down? Of course, he goes to the Legends playbook. He hits, a flying forearm and the kip up, completely Shawn Michaels style. He goes for his, signature kind of leg cradle DDT that he would do. Ciampa fights out, and now he gets the Hogan spots. He gets the big boot. He gets 3 big leg drops. He's rocking and rolling. He goes for the purple Rainmaker, that flying elbow off the top, that's his finish. Ciampa kind of begs off and is able to tully Dream to the floor, but he ends up getting caught on the ring apron. He goes knee first. He's got that, previously surgically repaired knee, and now Dream has his target. What does he do? He goes to the Bret Hart playbook, and he locks on the ring post figure 4, something that you don't see a lot, which is a great move. And something that I love too, the move is illegal, so you can't win the match that way. You really can only hold it for a 5 count. But Ciampa is tapping out in the move, and I love that because, we talk about, heels showing ass is the term, right? Where they're able to show that the face or their opponent has one up on him, and this is a great way to do it. It makes sense that Ciampa would be screaming. He's got that bad knee. He's got the ring post, the figure 4. He needs the referee to break that move, and it just really put it over the fact that he was, tapping out, and had it been a legal move, it would have worked for him. And then this creates this great drama where Dream ends up getting the figure 4 in the ring after Ciampa had previously tapped out to the ring post version that, you buy it as a legitimate finish, that it could be the end. Of course, Ciampa ends up getting the ropes. These guys bust out a crazy suicide suplex, the vertical suplex over the ropes that sends them both tumbling to the floor. And this is where this match really kicks into overdrive, and they end up doing some crazy stuff leading into the finish. Ciampa gets a great near fall off a roll-up with tights that the referee sees and breaks the count. During all of the commotion of that, Velveteen Dream blasts him with a super kick and hits the Dream Driver, that rolling Death Valley driver, for 2. He goes for like a turnaround axe handle and gets blasted with a knee, almost like a V trigger in midair, which gets Ciampa 2. Ciampa hits Project Ciampa for 2, but then of course, has to sell that knee because it's been so damaged. And at this point, he knows his knee is barely hanging on, so he has to take whatever shortcut he can to retain. And he goes for the belt. This is where the drama reaches a fever pitch because he brings that belt into the ring. While, the referee's trying to get it away from him, Velveteen gets a schoolboy this time for a super hot 2, and then hits that cradle DDT of his onto the belt. Only gets 2 there. Amazing near fall. I thought it was the finish, even watching it now. He goes for the purple Rainmaker, but Ciampa gets, the foot up. He sees that coming, stops, turns it back into the figure 4. But Ciampa does the old Eddie Guerrero trick and gets the boot off and kind of kicks Dream to the floor. And as Dream is coming back into the ring to try to capitalize, he hits him with the Willow's Bell, that DDT through the ropes. That's only good for 2. The crowd is electric here at the Staples Center. These near falls have been amazing. And Ciampa, again, is trying to scramble to think what he can do to retain. And he goes to the floor and starts to pull up the mats. And we've talked about the mats in these Gargano and Ciampa matches, how it's been this overall theme throughout them. He tries for the Willow's Bell, the hanging DDT onto the cement. Velveteen ends up spearing Ciampa right over the announcer's table, which creates pandemonium. Ciampa slaps Mauro Ranallo and the whole thing, which, was crazy because Mauro, was kind of protected, with his mental health issues. So him being involved like that was really out of left field. This allows Dream to hit the Dream Driver on the cement, so that backfires on Ciampa. The purple Rainmaker in the end for the hottest near fall of the match. If you can believe that, he only gets 2. and Ciampa starts trying to crawl his way back out of the ring, as he's done multiple times now, grabbing the belt, exposing the concrete. But this time, Dream's not going to let him bail. He knows that he has, Ciampa literally on the ropes at this point, but he goes for a move. So daring and so crazy. It's his all or nothing. It's his one shot. It's his one opportunity. And he tries the purple Rainmaker onto the ring apron. Ciampa manages to avoid it. Dream crashes and burns off the apron to the floor. It was crazy. It was reckless. It was dangerous. It was awesome. And that allows, Dream to kind of pull himself back up in between the two rings. Keep in mind, WarGames. And that allows Ciampa to nail him with the Willow's Bell between the two rings on the metal, diamond plate, that grate that they have between the two rings. Of course, Dream's not getting up for that, and it's enough for 3. This match is an amazing thrill ride. I feel like it really gets overlooked in the grand scheme of things, with what happened to Dream. It's on a WarGames show, so you have the WarGames match there. It's really forgotten about. I loved it at the time. It completely blew me away now. Where it sits on the list, right near the tippy top. And like I said, overall, it might not be the best NXT title match or the best TakeOver match, but it's the one that's the most overlooked because it is so excellent. It didn't even main event this show. They had a match like this, and it wasn't even the main event because of WarGames. You can check this one out, of course, on Peacock. If you're outside the US, it's on the WWE Network. You can subscribe to my channel here on YouTube so that you never miss a video. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Wrestling50. And please join me again tomorrow as we continue to count down Pro Wrestling's Top 50.